At the advisory board meeting last night, we were discussing technologies to communicate with smart devices, and I heard about iBeacon. So that wasn't something I didn't actually know about that before, and I checked it out a bit online, and I'm going to go and have a look and have a chat with them. I would say have a dedicated designer, because I've talked to a lot of people with really big and established networks who still have their IT department or their marketing department developing the content for them. And the point of your signage network is the content that's eventually going to be up there. So you really need to have a design professional make those. And I'm a little biased. I'm a designer myself. I have my background in animation and motion graphics. But yeah, digital signage is its own animal. So you really have to have a designer who is making things specifically for your network and for your audience, and the viewing distance from the signs, taking all of that into account. Do your homework. Again, be familiar with your venue, with your audience, and what your goals are and what you want to accomplish. And then do some research. Go online and search around. There's a lot of really interesting information on what kind of dwell times work best, what kind of color and motion works best. And also, go out on the floor and watch people looking at your signage. See if it's drawing them in, if it's engaging, or if people are just sort of walking by and giving it a glance and moving on. That's one of the studies that I was reading. Color better than not color, high contrast better. That kind of stuff is, pretty basic, but it's important. We don't do audio in our signage network just because we're at a convention center and it would get too loud. There's people walking around, there's demonstrations going on the floor, and if you have all these screens sort of, with audio going, it gets distracting. And I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of signage networks that have audio, and I've seen ones where you have the option, it's a touch screen and you can turn the audio on and off. But yeah, personally, I wouldn't go with audio, but maybe that's just me, and it depends on the venue and the audience. Going back to the first question, I would say, and we talked a lot about this at the advisory board meeting last night, but having the means to communicate with people's smart devices and to have access, voluntarily by them to some of their personal information, so that advertising and messaging can be personalized for them and get them to engage more. Because right now there's iBeacon, and that's a good thing, but it doesn't really have access to that information. There needs to be some way to get people to opt in. As I said, it would have to be voluntary, but if you see that if you opt in, you're going to get discounts and special offers and stuff, then that makes it tempting enough. And then there also has to be some way for them to control the amount of information that they'd like to share. So what we need to do as an industry is talk to certainly smartphone manufacturers, but I think also go to the sources that have that information. And the first things that occur to me obviously are Facebook and Google. So if we could somehow get them to play nice, show them the advantage, then that would be it's really actually necessary for us to stay relevant.